What's the darkest secret you've ever kept? I was 9 when my grandpa moved in. Grandma had just died and Dad worked the night shift, so he slept all day. That left me with a man who didn't see me as a kid, just something he could control. He wasn't creepy in some movie villain way. He sat right there in the living room, watching game shows, scratching himself, and waiting for Dad to fall asleep so he could corner me. At first, it was little things. He'd block the hallway, pretending it was about keeping quiet for Dad. "Your dad needs rest," he'd whisper, smiling that gross, yellow-toothed smile. Then came the lap pats. Every time he was in his chair, he'd slap his thigh and expect me to sit there. If I didn't, he'd find a reason to brush past me, lean too close, put a hand on my shoulder and leave it too long. I didn't tell anyone. What was I gonna say? That a grieving old man wasn't grieving enough? Then came the dress. He called the school pretending I was sick, told them he was taking me to the doctor. Instead, he locked the door, pulled a pink frilly dress from the back of his drawer, one I wore when I was like 6, and said, "You look so pretty in this." I said no. He didn't like that. Grabbed my wrist, firm but not hard enough to leave a bruise, just enough to make sure I knew I wasn't in charge. That night, I stared at the ceiling until sunrise, and I started planning. I wasn't strong, but I had time, I had patience, and I had a Girl Scout troop that taught me CPR. Not just how to do it, but how long someone could survive without it. 3 weeks later, it happened. He was in his recliner, watching Family Feud, when he started choking, clutching his chest, eyes bulging, classic heart attack signs. Left arm limp, fingers twitching, mouth working like a fish. I watched, sat down across from him and folded my hands. He tried to stand. I slid the phone off the table and onto the carpet behind me. He looked at me, full panic. I smiled. I counted in my head. 4 minutes, the brain starts to die. At 7, the damage is almost always permanent. He slumped over. I waited until he stopped twitching. Then I ran and screamed for Dad. Ambulance came. Hospital said he was dead when they got there. Everyone said it was just a sad tragedy. Poor old man, gone too soon. At the funeral, I cried in front of the mirror to practice. And that night, I slept in peace for the first time in months. But justice doesn't stay bare. 3 weeks later, 2 cops knocked on our door. "We need to speak with your daughter," one said. I froze mid-math problem. Dad looked confused and groggy. He called Mrs. Chen, our lawyer neighbor, to sit with us. While we waited, one cop, a woman, said her daughter was in Girl Scout Troop 847. That was my troop. I realized they already knew, maybe everything. I blurted, "I tried to help him." Too fast, too rehearsed. The cops' faces shifted. One started taking notes. Mrs. Chen leaned toward Dad and whispered, "You need a criminal lawyer, now." From there, it snowballed. Dad's job was on the line. His boss was pissed he'd left early the night Grandpa died. The school called. My counselor flagged my writing assignments as disturbing. Aunt Patricia booked a flight to protect the family name. Our neighbors got quiet, too quiet. They'd stopped talking when we came outside. Emma, my best friend, her mom worked at the hospital. She stopped answering my texts. Then social media lit up. Someone found an old post I made about poisoning relatives after binging true crime shows. People shared it like it was proof I was a killer. A car started parking across the street, snapping photos. Dad scrambled to call lawyers, but we were drowning. One night, I found Grandpa's journal. It was still on the coffee table, half wrapped in yellow police tape. The last entry was a mystery, but there were others. Lots of others. Some hinted at what he did. Some were just gross rambles. But if I touched it, that was evidence tampering. Click the full story to see what happened next.